Hello, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel for more amazing Zeeworld updates. So the last update about Twist of Fate, Abby and Pragya got stuck in the lift and Abby finally saves Pragya, and Prachi and Rhea were given a challenge by Pallavi. Let's continue. Abby scolds Pragya for not holding his hand at first and asks if she will be small if she holds his hand. He asks if this was the time to show tantrums and says your ego cannot be more than your life. You made everything as joke. Pragya thinks that he saved me, though I did not talk to him properly and I got angry on him, but then he also saved me. Niall thinks that no wonder why Madam ate Abby, and then thinks that who talks to boss like this. The manager of the mechanic shop, Satish, that is Niall's brother, comes to Abby and asks who talks to boss like this with attitude if she fires you. Abby says she will not fire me and says that it is not attitude but self-respect. Satish asks him to keep his head low for the job. Abby says my mood is already upset and asks him not to give him lecture. His friend asks Satish not to spoil his mood. Satish says that Abby's destiny is bad and he shall not argue with Madam. She is not less than a queen. Abby wins the queen in the carom board and says the queen will be mine only. Satish asks him to work properly. Abby says that he will do the work with his wish. Satish goes. Abby says I will go home and sleep. His friend says that nobody is at home. Abby says that is why I am going home. He jokes with Sumit and the other friend. Abby goes inside the house and finds the electricity not there. He lies down on the bed and thinks of Pragya's words. He hears a voice and sees someone outside the window. He holds her hand and says there is no money in the piggy bank. What will you steal? Prachi shows the money in her hand, which she was about to put in the piggy bank. Abby comes out and says that's what I thought. How did Grandma get the money when she spends money in the medicine? Abby breaks the piggy bank and says if I had known that you were putting money in it, then I would have not let anyone touch this money. He says I got a job and started earning. Don't need your money. And says he doesn't want to see her face. Prachi says I want to tell you that Rhea. Abby asks her not to say Rhea's name with her mouth and says that you always thought wrong about her. He says I don't want to see your face and asks her to go. Prachi thinks that Abby loves Rhea so much and hates the other daughter so much. Abby thinks that Rhea was always there to his heart and he wanted to love Prachi too, but he lost Rhea due to Prachi. So whenever he sees Prachi, I would think of all that. Prachi thinks that when she met him, she thought that her papa shall be like him. Abby wishes that he could have never met her. Prachi says I met you, but you didn't meet me. She gets sad and she is going from there. Prachi thinks that it is good that Papa started working. Now he will think less and he will drink less. He thinks that you have seen me. Now I don't have to come secretly. Pragya comes home. Sushma sees her and says that she has been calling her for a long time. Pragya says that he is working in my office and I have signed on the contract without reading it. Sushma asks who. Pragya says Abhishek Mehra. Sushma says she can teach him and his sister a lesson and humiliate him as they are done. Pragya says he has never humiliated me. She says she just needs some time. Sushma says I will ask Shagun to bring tea for you. Pragya asks why do I think, which I don't want to think, if I can do the same thing with him which he did for me. Prachi comes home. Rambru says I and asks if she saw Chief. He asks if anyone came to know that you go to meet him secretly. Prachi hugs him and cries. Rambro asks if he saw you and scolded you. Prachi says I am very happy today and says that my papa called me by my name and called me Prachi. Rambro asks did you talk to him? What did he say? Prachi says that he was very angry with me. I wanted to tell him about Rhea, that she is married to your brother, but he did not listen. She tells that he is working and that is why he will not drink now. Rambro says it is good. Prachi says that Papa did not talk about Rhea, but I will talk to her about Papa and everyone. She says she is my twin sister and I will take care of her and I will keep her happy. She says I will keep everyone happy and united. Rambro asks her to make him happy first and stop crying. Rambro says your emotions are different, but the tears are the same. You cry when you are happy and when you are sad. Prachi hugs him. Aliyah and Tanu comes home. They sees Abby inside. Aliyah says your friend said that you are working. Tanu asks if he will get a salary. Abby says yes. He says I have to give 1,000 to Satish. He says that Sushma wanted me to work under Pragya so that she can scold me. Tanu says this is not Sushma's plan but Pragya's plan and says that she is jealous of you. Abby says she is not jealous of you and laughs at Tanu. Aliyah says that Pragya can think like this. Abby says no. If she had thought like this, then she wouldn't have tried to fire me. He says if I had not signed the contract, then I would have lost the job. He says he is feeling pity on himself for bearing 3 people. One, Pragya as an owner, Sushma auntie as a planner, and Gautam Thapa as a business partner. Alia asks that who is Gautam Thapa. Abby says that Pragya couldn't understand her partner. He is so bad. I asked Pragya to stay away from him. Tanu asks what did she say. Abby says that she said that she might like him. He says that she is not my Pragya. Tanu says you shall not work under Pragya. Abby says I cannot steal and asks her to teach him. Alia says that she wants to fire you to show her power. Abby asks what can I do. Alia asks him to wait for the right time and lower Pragya. He says that he is going out. Alia asks him to drink with Pragya's name so that one day you will sleep peacefully and she comes on the road. Dida calls Rambru and Siddharth for outing. She calls Teji then. Everyone comes there. Dida says let's do the outing. She does the outing, followed by Pallavi, Teji, Rhea and Sid, and Rambru and Prachi. Prachi asks Grandma to take her medicine. She asks Sid if he took the papers. Sid says yes. She gives the outing to everyone. Pallavi takes outing. Prachi comes to Rhea. Rhea takes the outing. Prachi asks her to give the outing tally to Papa. Rhea says sure and goes. Pallavi tells Dida that she felt good as she kept puja at home. Dida says I didn't keep, but Prachi kept it and said that God showers everyone with their blessings if puja is done. Rambru is going out. Pallavi makes him eat curd and sugar. Prachi brings the curd and sugar, but she stays silent, seeing Pallavi making him eat. Pallavi says if Prachi had made you eat, then your work will be done. Rambru is about to say. Prachi signs him not to say anything. He comes to Prachi and asks that why did she not let him say. She asks him to go. Dida says Prachi deserves the keys and asks her to agree. Gautam comes to Pragya's office and recalls his father giving him papers, telling him what is written in it, that Pragya is naming her Indian's business property on his name. He thinks how to make Pragya sign. Pihon comes there and asks, shall I bring coffee? Gautam says okay. He gets his father's call, who informs him that he has informed his elder son, Gaurav, about what is happening in Delhi office. Gautam asks, why did you tell him? His father says, I have seen how you were yesterday and says that you are facing a big problem and can lose everything and you cannot handle a girl. Gautam says Pragya is very smart and her mind works like. His father asks him to give him a chance to praise him and says I called Gaurav here to handle the business. Gautam says you can't do this. You know well that Bayan is very short-tempered. Gaurav is shown getting down from the car. A watchman asks other watchman who is he. The watchman says Gaurav comes rarely and punishes the employees severely. Gautam says I will handle. No need of Bayan here. His father says I can't help it now. The employee sees him and gets back to work. Pallavi comes to the room searching for a fowl. Vikram calls Pallavi and Pallavi sees his condition deteriorating and asks what happened. He says that he is feeling uneasy. Pallavi asks where is your medicines and prescriptions. She says I don't know when to give what medicine. She calls Dida there and asks that where is his prescription. Dida says you have asked me to give the prescription to Rhea. It is with her. Pallavi asks the servant to call Rhea. Dida asks her not to get hyper. Rhea hears Pallavi shouting her name. The servant comes there and asks Rhea to come as Pallavi is calling her. Prachi is in the kitchen and she goes. Gaurav comes to the office and asks Gautam how is he. Gautam asks him. Gaurav says that dad told me that you are useless now and cannot handle the business. Told that the girl is taking over the business. Gautam says that you are talking about small things and says let me handle this. Gaurav says that you have failed and asks him to accept. Gautam says I didn't fail and says that I took Pragya to farmhouse, but then the mechanic Abby came there and beat me. I fell unconscious. Gaurav says this is your problem. You never take the small people seriously. Gautam says that guy has become Pragya's bodyguard and even threatened me. Gaurav says I would handle him and says that he would execute his plan. Pragya knocks on the office and comes inside. She tells Gautam that she needs to sign the papers. Gaurav says I am Gaurav, his brother, and says that he would handle the work now, as his brother will be unavailable now. He says that he will get the file in 5 minutes. Pragya says I don't care whoever do the work, but the work should be done. He asks if I can drink coffee in your office. When Pion brings coffee, he says I know that you have everything except time. Gautam shows Abby to Gaurav and says that until he is with Pragya, he won't let us succeed. Gaurav looks at him. He asks, where are those papers in which we will take our signature and are everything on our name, and asks where are the papers, which Pragya was asking. Gautam give both files. Gaurav says my plan is small, but the result is big. Abby knocks on Pragya's office door and says I had gone to your home, but came to know that you left for the office. Pragya says she likes to do the work on time and came before time to the office. He says sorry for coming late. He says I shouldn't have scolded you. Pragya says it is alright. Sorry is not needed. Abby says I am not saying sorry and tells that he scolded her and says that I hope you realize that you could have died. Says that scolding was justified. He says that I am outside. Tell me if you need anything. He goes from there. Pragya says I am the boss and I shall not hear. Pallavi asks Rhea about Vikram's prescription and says that she wants it right now. She says that the nurse told that she will come late and asks us to give the medicine. Prachi tries to talk, but Pallavi shouted at her and asked her not to talk until and unless she asks her. She asks Rhea to bring the prescription. Prachi says that she can help. Pallavi says that she doesn't need her help. Rhea comes to her room and thinks that where did I keep the prescription? She thinks that she had kept it near the window and searches for it. She thinks if it had flied and fallen out. Pallavi shouted, calling Rhea. Prachi goes to Vikram's room. Gaurav scolded Pion for the accidental fall of the water. The waiter says sorry. Gaurav is about to eat him, but Abby holds his hand and says I saw that it was your mistake. He asks, do you know who I am? Abby says your ego is showing that you are a sport son of a rich father. He tells Pion that he will fire him and tells Abby that he will fire him too. Abby says that his boss is Pragya and you are a partner at 45% and I just take her orders. Gaurav asks him not to thank him as a hero after beating his brother. Abby says I saw both of you. I don't need to be hero as Pragya alone is enough for you and says that when she comes to know about your reality, then you will see what she will do. Gaurav says that this office will be mine soon and says that when this office command comes in my hand, then you will go from here first. Abby says according to the contract, you have to bear me for a month and give me 3 months salary. Gaurav says that he made the draft of the contract and says that if he doesn't do the work on time, then he will be out in 1 minute and says your countdown begins, Mr. Bodyguard. Gaurav goes and calls Gautam asking him to do something. Gautam says okay. He calls the receptionist to send Pion to his office. He then asks Pion to do something and shows him Abby. Abby sees him and smiles. Gautam asks Pion if he understood. Pion says yes. Gautam asks him to open the top floor room of the office. He then messages Gaurav that the work is done. Gaurav says Abby will do something if he comes to know about our plan. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please don't forget to like my video and share it, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.